Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have an exceptionally great video today because there's a whole lot of news to talk about. But before we get into the news, I need to tell you guys right off the bat about a huge glitch that is going on so that you don't think you're crazy. If you were wondering recently if you have been dying in Clan Boss early, if something weird's been going on, you are not crazy. There is some weird stuff currently going on when it comes to Clan Boss. There is two distinctly different glitches that have been confirmed by Plarium, one of which is a visual one, and one of which is a characters who are getting one shot. These are independent of each other as far as the information I've received, and both of which are currently not only they're acutely aware of it, but they're actually developing a hotfix for this, which should be coming out, as far as I'm aware, which is what I've been told, in tomorrow's update. Tomorrow's update? What's going on tomorrow? Well, it's not really an update, but what we have going on here, if we switch on over to the game, so let's go with the news. If you look at the news, and this is really where we get into the exciting part of today, we have a global summoning boost double chance. Now, by this time, you guys know what this means. Instead of an 8% chance for epics, it's a 16% chance. Instead of a 0.5% chance of legendary, it is a full percent chance. This does not mean if you open 100 shards, you have a 100% chance of opening a legendary. That is not how this works. This is exactly how statistics work. So every time is a 1% roll, meaning I don't know off the top of my head. Last time I did this, I think it's like 67 or 73 or something like that percent chance with 100 shards to open a legendary. Please keep that in mind. The same math would go for the epics, right? So that being said, there is something else we need to talk about, which is if you want me to open your shards, or if you wish to be part of the community, there is in fact a way to do this. I realized I don't plug this at all, but there's actually a Discord that's my community, and we talk every day in there. We help each other out. I mean, people communicate with me. Please don't DM me, but you can message me through my general Discord. You can just leave a message there, and eventually I'll read it. And that is in the description, as well as if you would like me to open your shards, now is probably the time to get in contact with me. I am looking for some massive wells that have a bunch of shards, as your boy himself can't afford currently to buy a bunch more shards. After the Skull Lord and all that, that was my budget for April. So instead, I'm going to be opening your shards, well, Pod. And if you have a bunch of shards, just put them in the Discord, Raid Jimro, and leave a photo of that, of your shards. I'll get in contact with you, and we can open those shards. Now, should you be going for this global summoning boost? Is it worth it? Yeah, I mean, it is. Personally, I think that the global summoning boost is always the best event currently in the game. If I had any gems at all, I have 127. I would be going here to the gym shop, go full mouth breather, purchasing packs. You know, if you are the type that does spend money at all, now's the time to do it. The 2x for Ancient is, in my opinion, always their best event. There is no better event than this, strictly for the reason that Ancient Legendaries are so hard to get. I mean, it takes so long to pull one, and when you do pull one, you have to pray you get the good one. So you're literally, I don't know if it's literal, it's almost 2-to-1 value on the shards because of the recessive nature of statistics. But I do believe that this is the time to go all in. Ancient shards are the best in the game. The 2x event is the best related to the ancient shards. I would say, however, if you have a limited number of shards, you can always hold off until the last day to open them all. In the outward scenario that we get summoning rush or something with it. Also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but they show you the points you've earned right now on this. Today you've earned 1 out of 1. Today you've earned 31,000 out of 30,000 or whatever. I really like that. This is a good change also. So you can see without having to click on here. Just shout out to that real quick. But yeah, you might want to wait till the last day to open shards, unless you're just trying to get them opened on a stream or something. You get into a fun video on the channel, then, throw it to me, but you would lose some efficiency because Summoning Rush might end up being on the last day. We don't know. I don't have any inside information on that. It just seems to be that whenever they do these 2x events, they typically throw in the Summoning Rush either the day of or the next day, but we don't have that information yet. All we have is the information that they show us in the news, showing that, in fact, the Summoning Rush is coming. So there's something to be said for potentially waiting for the last day. Okay, so let's talk about Skull Lord. I have a proposed change that in my mind is a good fit for this character. And why would I propose a change? Well, there's a few reasons. One of which is, as it stands, this character, in my personal opinion, is more for fun in its unique nature. There's nothing wrong with that inherently. I actually rather like that, as well as it's kind of an April Fool's joke with all the skull swords and everything. I don't really mind this character not being good. What I do really like instead is the unique aspect of him, and I think that's what people enjoy out of him too. I would suggest we push that nature, and we push the duo synergy of Skull Brood. Currently, what he does is revives a Skull Sworn. It will give him 50% HP in turn meter. He can only revive one at the start of each of his turns. If we go over to Skull Sworn, we can look at his kit, see that he gains turn meter on basic, he gives himself a counterattack and speed buff, and then he fills the turn meter on a crit. So instinctively, we know what we want to do with this guy is basically build him pure attack with crit chance, get him to get bonus turn meter, deal as much damage as possible. When he dies because he's squishy, we resurrect him and attack him. But what if we had another way of doing this? If you actually look at him, he doesn't have the high base stats of Skull Lord, but what if instead of adding something to Skull Lord to make that character better, we added something to Skull Sworn in order to push the duo synergy? As it stands, there's no duo synergy in the passives for Skull Sworn with Skull Lord. Here is my suggestion. If Skull Sworn and Skull Lord are on the same team, and Skull Sworn is revived by Skull Lord. So basically when Skull Lord's passive triggers, and once again to show you in case you do not know, so we have to go through this, we're on the same page. His passive is at the start of his turn, he revives the Skull Sworn with half HP and half turn meter. So if that triggers, here is my suggestion. When that happens, there's a passive off Skull Sworn with a 1-turn cooldown, meaning this can only happen on the first res. He would need to take a turn himself in order for this to trigger again. When he's revived by Skull Lord, he provokes one random enemy. Okay, that seems very small and simple. How does that make this a good character? Well, here's what would happen. First of all, it's not going to make him an in-game character. It's not going to clear dungeons faster. It's not going to make him the 100% best arena character. It's not going to make him broken in any aspect, and it's not going to start a loop of any type because of the 1-turn cooldown. However, what it will do instead is push the uniqueness aspect, where you can build this Skull Sworn in 2 distinct different ways, and you would have to, because in order for the provoke to land, you would need extremely high accuracy. You would need the accuracy 300, 400 if you wanted to use it in arena, where he gets revived and provokes somebody. Okay, or it could also be quite enjoyable for him to instead still go the attack way, where he does pure damage and the provoke won't really land. You see what I'm saying? You can build him as a pseudo tank, where you can put him defense. He doesn't really get the crit chance, doesn't really get the crit damage, doesn't really hit hard, but you can make him fast and tanky. So he gets a turn, provokes somebody, and when he gets rezzed, gets a turn, dies from the provoke, right? Gets resurrected again, provokes another person because he was fast enough to take a turn, etc. But he wouldn't do any damage because you had to build him for that. And so I think that this would be a way, one, to encourage people building Skull Sworn, because as it currently stands, Skull Sworn is still just a rare in the team. He does not get any bonus stats from Skull Lord. He doesn't get any kind of attack with Skull Lord. The only thing he gets is the res, but Skull Sworn himself doesn't get anything when he's revived. He just gets the turn meter and the HP. You could say, well, that's great because now you don't have to have a reser, but you could just replace it with a better reser and Skull Sworn is still the exact same character. And so for that reason, I think we need to give Skull Sworn one small thing that makes him work very well with Skull Lord. You could also make this like a unique passive so it can't trigger off 4 or 5 Skull Sworns, but if you wanted to leave it in where full 4 of them would all be able to do that, it would still be the same thing. They would all be useless because they would just be provoking upon death, but it would still be a fun, crazy team, and it would be a random provoke, so it's not like it's going to provoke each individual one. It could still over the lap. It wouldn't be busted, but it would be funny, and it would be fun, and it would be unique, and it would give free-to-play, newer, or people like me who just want to around with the game something to do. And in my personal opinion, I think that is the best thing we can do for Raid Shadow Legends at the moment, because I do believe it's a lost cause. I say lost cause, which is a harsh word, but I do believe the way the monetization works in this game, I do not believe we're going to see a massive decrease in monetization. I believe we will slowly see an increase in monetization, and this is the same for every mobile game I've ever played. So this isn't really a complaint as much as just a prediction. And because of that, I think something would be nice to focus on is enjoyability of the game, a unique aspect of the characters, and a reason to build out different characters and something to do with them, even if it's not the most elite in-game character, at least something fun to do with them. This is my personal opinion. I hope that this suggestion is something usable, or at a minimum makes it to Plarium's ear to hear some feedback on the character and my personal opinion on characters going forward. I would like to thank both Plarium as well as yourself for listening to this video and hearing my feedback. Thanks for everyone's time. Consider subscribing if you have not already, as I put out a video every single day. This is my full-time job, and I make a living doing this. I appreciate everything you guys have done for me, and have a fantastic day.